Hi, hello, welcome back. Ignore the fabulous hairdo. I am here to review Doctor Who Carnival of Monsters, which, for once, is an story, that I have not seen before. Uh, I've only got a couple of these to do this year, because this year it's all about re-reviewing the stuff I did on my blog. If you're new here, had a blog, reviewed loads of classic stories on there, now I have to re-review them for the YouTube channel. Carnival of Monsters was one that I'd ordered to review on the blog and then didn't do it because this YouTube channel now exists. And I stuck it on. I was like, I'll review this. My third Doctor collection is now growing. I have uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, 6. I have 6 third Doctor stories. And I'm going to be real, Carnival of Monsters, I think, is my favourite of the 6. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I'm not really sure what the fan consensus is on Carnival of Monsters. I went into it thinking that it was like a sort of it's naff episode, but I might have to go check out some people's thoughts because I thought it was really good. I really liked it. I'll start with the story. I knew the basic story of Carnival of Monsters, that it was Doctor and Jo are in this little mini thing where all these other creatures are, and that's all I knew. The whole first episode is you have the parallel events of what's going on with Doctor and Jo on the SS Bernice, and then you have Interminor with Vorg and are the Interminorians? I don't know, let me find out what this species is. Yes, Interminorians, I was correct. And you're like, then they mention the miniscope and you're like, what's this? But by the end of the episode, that first episode, you're like, oh, okay, they're inside the scope. And they don't really treat it as a huge reveal. You can kind of guess what's going on anyway, because you're like, you've got these aliens and this double act on this alien planet, and then you've got the Doctor and Jo on what looks like Earth. So I was like, whatever. So I think even if I hadn't known, I would have figured it out pretty quickly. But the overall tone, the 5 other third Doctor stories that I have reviewed, bar Planet of the Spiders, are all from his first 3 seasons. So they're very much like Earth. They're all Earth-based. They're all kind of that homebound unit feel to them. And I'm going to be honest, I don't love that era of the show. And even then, Planet of the Spiders, yes, it isn't as much, although unit and stuff is still in it. But Planet of the Spiders is bad in other ways, or just not great in other ways, let's say. Whereas this, there's no Earth at all, because they just start on the adventure. The Doctor and Jo land in the miniscope, and we never see them go back to Earth, because this is set from season 10, and I know this is the second serial of 5. The first one, at the end of the 3 Doctors, the 10th anniversary special, the Doctor's given access to the TARDIS again. So instead of it being like all Earth-based stories, and then throw one in that's not based on Earth because the Doctor's tinkering or something, it was like, now he can have him do whatever he wants. He can take Jo to all these crazy places. And so this episode doesn't need to bog itself down with explaining how the Doctor and Jo get to an alien planet. It can just be, the first 6 years of Doctor Who where it's just they land somewhere. And I love that. I think, unlike all the other Doctor Who third Doctor serials I've reviewed, I think it has pace, it gets along. And like a lot of classic stories, especially third Doctor ones, there's a lot of, we're going to keep walking back and forth to these different places and not really accomplishing much. But one, it's only 4 parts, so it's, 100 minutes. So an hour and 40, the length of an average film you get on DVD. It's nice, and I think the different settings work really well. I like Interminor. For the most part, we stick to that bit where Vorg and Shurna have set up shop. Once we get to that part, they don't really move anywhere else. But it was quite believable, because there are bits where they will walk elsewhere and you go, oh, with other parts of the planet. Bit of dodgy. The very first bit is with some dodgy green screen, or chroma key they would have called it back then. But it's still, if it hadn't been for their really weird slender legs, I would have totally believed it. I thought the inner workings of the machine, the miniscope, looked really cool. Again, it was reusing a lot of the parts, but it was really cool. It was all black, and there were these pathways and all these lights. I don't know, I just thought it looked nice. Then you had the ship, which there was some location filming there. And then you also had the Drashig zone, which they only visit briefly, but that it was completely empty. And I liked how it looked. I think one of my problems with the Third Doctor stories is they do a lot of location filming, and it doesn't always look great. But you know, these are, I think most of the story is filmed on sets, apart from some shots of the ship, the SS Bernice, and obviously where the Drashigs are. Are they Drashigs or Drashigs? Drashigs. I just realised Drashigs. I'm going to call them Drashigs because I think that's a bit nicer name than Drashigs. And also, I'm from a place, my accent is like Master Bath rather than Master and Bath. So. Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. The Doctor, Jon Pertwee, again, was really good. Like, what else am I going to say? It's Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. You kind of get the gist now. I like especially in episode 4 when he gets out. I like how he treats the Interminorians. I just like Jon Pertwee as the Doctor. I think he's really good. He's good at the technobabble. He doesn't get a whole lot of emotional stuff to do, but how he cares for Jo and obviously all his companions. I don't know, I just love Jon Pertwee in the role. And one of my favourite Doctors. It's so bizarre. One of my least favourite eras, one of my favourite Doctors. But, you know, it happens. Katie Manning. I love that I get to talk about her again. She's great as Jo Grant. Again, what do you want? I much prefer this point in her character more so than, let's say, the one I saw in Claws of Axos. I don't know if that's representative of the whole of season 8, but that's from what I saw. Because in Sea Devils, season 9, I think she's a lot more, active. So the 12th Doctor. Jo Grant in season 8 is, completely helpless. Season 9, she's, kung fu chopping her way. She is just a master escapist. And then in this episode story, I'm used to modern too, I'm sorry. In Carnival of Monsters, she's not super battling her way out, kicking people out of her way. But she has a skeleton keys that I looked up. Apparently it's from a different, it's from a previous story, because I was actually where did she get those from? I felt really bad for her in the last half of the story when she's desperately trying to make these people on the SS Bernice remember what's going on. And you see with the woman, the others don't, but the woman does have she keeps having moments where she's starting to, sort of maybe remember, and then obviously at the end when she sees her dad, she's just for a second she remember, she's remembered what happened. She's never mind. So I liked that story arc, although they didn't really lead anywhere. Obviously, they just needed Jo Grant to be out of the way for a little bit. Vorg and Shana were also really nice. They weren't especially Vorg wasn't the purest of people. But, he was quite entertaining. I liked them. They were a good sort of comic relief, especially because the episode did need a bit more filler, because the story is a bit more base level. Interminorians, I also quite liked them. The whole thing with the function things, the sort of lower strata of their species, was interesting, but didn't end up playing to the story that much. It was just kind of established that these species aren't particularly nice. That we only saw 3 of them, but I kind of liked their banter and the whole sort of the fact they had to vote, and there was Karlik, the chairman, and the one in the middle who was which way do I go? I sort of like the setup as to why Vorg and Shana were even there, and I love how within minutes, within what seems like minutes, they were okay, never mind, this was a mistake, back on the banana boat you go. I liked them. I thought the Interminorians, Karlik was a decent villain, and the Drashigs, I really liked. They're actually, when it first came out of the ground, the way they did it actually was real scary. I was oh. And then so they do lose it as the episode goes on, but that first time they seem, especially the way that they focus, the close-ups on the Doctor and Jo looking up at it, I'm it seems like it's really big, and that's kind of scary. And yeah, I just love how they're designed as well. You got to forgive some of the technical problems with the way the Drashigs look sometimes, but I think they looked nice, to be honest. to make things worse, I have a really, really painful, like, patch on my elbow. It's not a spot. It just, like, hurts. I liked the Ogron cameo, especially as, like, the Ogrons are then in the next episode, so I wonder if that was a deliberate choice. The Cyberman cameo, which I guess is the Cyberman Third Doctor. That's all you're gonna get between those lot. Which is really interesting. They did that big finish box set with River Song, like, end up inserting herself into, like, 4 different stories, one for each of the first 4 Doctors. And the Third Doctor one she inserted herself into was Carnival of the Monsters, which makes sense because it's one of the easiest ones to do. And there were Jarshigs, Ogrons, and Centaureans. So it's interesting they didn't go with Cybermen, considering Cybermen were in this episode. I don't know. I really enjoyed the story. I liked the atmosphere. I liked all the performances, all the supporting cast. Ian Marter making a bit of an appearance before he became a companion, as, you know, Harry, good old Harry, the imbecile. Yeah, I would give this a solid 8. Because the story is quite simple, and it is a case of facing the Doctor he lands in the miniscope and then he tries to get out. That's basically it. But I thought it was really well done. And, like, little details, like, how did Vorg know how to operate the big gun that's name I forgot. Oh, because he mentions how he knew the part was because he'd served, and it was, it added layers to his character. I thought Shona was just really... I liked the sort of thing that Shona had with the Doctor. They're like a good chemistry. I like that the last shot is just Shona smiling at the TARDIS leaving. I love Shona. See, if that actress is on board, bring Shona back to Big Finish. She should have had her on the Big Finish set. Honestly, loved her. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Great story. Didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. Yeah. I honestly I really hope in a weird way that this is, like, someone that everyone else hates. Because I don't think I have any Doctor Who stories that, like, I have such a different opinion to what everyone else says. Like, you get the people who absolutely unironically adore Love and Monsters. You get people who genuinely hate Blink and hate the like Human Nature, Family of Blood, and I'm just like, I don't really have any of those kind of opinions. Like, don't have any strong opinions really on those kind of episodes. So I hope that everyone hates this, despises this story, so I can be like, I'm different, I'm quirky. You see this hat? It's weird. So yeah, thank you for watching. I've had a bit of a stressful day with this stupid video. And I also have things to do before I go to bed today. And I'm probably going to call my friend Dan and probably procrastinate. Oh well. I might see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I'm posting a video tomorrow. I don't know my own schedule.